conversation you had with your probation officer, they can turn around and go, she never called that day. She wasn't here that day. And it benefits the system for them to do that. Why? So they can pull you back into court. They can charge you another $350 for the violation, extend you a little bit more, because the longer they extend you, the more times they can bring you into court and violate you for that money.
That's ridiculous.
So I got a question for Tony, man. So for some of our listeners who never really have been into the jail system and experienced the jail system, I've never been in jail. All I can reference,
because you would have been murdered too. Jamaica.
What I say is, like, I don't know how it is. All I can see is how Hollywood depicts it, right?
Yeah, what you're seeing on TV and things.
How is that? How is that depiction? Is it?
Honestly, I mean, TV does hype some things up, but it depends on which level, like, you really go to when you get to a prison.
You got to rack up floors in that prison.
Yeah, I'm gonna say anywhere from like a level 3 and up, like, you're gonna see some things.
You're liable.
Yeah.
So what was the highest level that you were in?
I was in level 3. I was at Powhatan.
Okay.
And
they did move you around.
Yeah. I was at Powhatan for a while now, and I shouldn't have been there because it's only supposed to be for receiving. And immediately, as soon, I mean, I don't care how tough you could be, a cop, killer, gangster, whatever. As soon as you walk into this penitentiary, you're going to be scared.
Yeah.
I was about to
talk about it.
What I witnessed my first, I'm going to say 30 minutes of walking into the penitentiary and the guard walking me to my cell. There's 4 tiers. And it's very high up. Like, I'm actually afraid of heights because of because of this.
That's part of your PTSD?
Yes, it is. And shit, my first 15, 20 minutes of walking in there, my headphones seems to be going out a little bit on the right side.
Same here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, keep talking.
Okay. Yeah. There was a guard that was walking on the 4th tier, and I had seen him get pushed by 2 people. And when he got pushed, he almost fell over the railing. And then when he almost fell over, 3 more people came out of a cell and just lifted him up and pushed him off the railing.
God damn.
And he fell all the way down to the floor, dead right in front of me.
God damn.
And this is how I enter my cell, entering prison.
And they did
that
was a guard, not another prisoner.
And now you're
that was
thinking
a guard.
the guards can't protect me because look what just happened. Is your first
They went on
impression?
immediate lockdown for like 2 weeks.
The guards in the prison system were not there that is not their job.
I understand. I'm just saying, just even seeing that as
but
a
in your
kid,
head, you think
you're
they
like,
are.
oh my God, they definitely can't now. Cause
I'm a dead man.
Look, yeah.
If they'll do that to him, I'm a dead man. That's
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, like that,
Tony,
scared
how
the
old
hell
were
out of
you?
me.
How old were you when you went to Powhatan?
I was, let me see, I was probably 23, 24.
Yeah. Dave, you experienced anything like that?
Nah.
He's like, we're just playing cards.
Your situation was more drug offenses. So
Yeah, mine was a county jail. I never made it to prison.
thank God.
was the county jail like a
County jail is terrible, man.
Really?
You locked out your room after 6 o'clock in the morning. You
Yep.
out your room
Yeah,
until
I
6
think-
o'clock at night.
Really?
They give
Being
you
in,
one
being
blanket
in county is worse than being
One
in actual
blanket.
Being
prison.
in
That's
state,
what they
yeah.
say, yeah.
on a concrete floor.
Wait,
So you-
say that again. You what?
You get one little blanket, and you on a
On a
concrete.
concrete slab.
On the Fairfax old side, that's probably what
Yeah,
it was.
that's why I was on the old side. You got one little TV with 6 dudes just stinking around you.
And you better learn some Spanish because if they put it on Telemundo, you better not turn that
Oh
TV.
yeah,
So-
Telemundo's
So
definitely
what, from
famous.
what I heard, when you go to jail, right, you're basically, you're waiting for court, or after you get done with court, you're waiting. Depends on how much time you get served. People from what I heard, people that are in jail are looking forward to going to prison
Yeah, they
because
wanna get out of
you
there.
get a hot
Yes.
meal. They say you can get hot sauce if you want to, right?
Freedom.
You get freedom. You can walk outside in the yard.
You're talking about
if you want to.
county versus
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 prison.
state.
Yeah, so when you're in a county, from what they tell me, is that you're just stuck in a room
Stuck.
all
Yeah,
day
you're pretty
long.
much
You
trapped.
can't in a room like this with a common area, 2 TVs
about
or
the
one
size of
TV,
this.
and
One
a bathroom,
phone.
and one phone, and then they say when you go to prison, it's just so much. It's open.
there's
You can
a lot
walk
more
around
freedom.
outside. You can breathe fresh
A
air.
little bit more dangerous, but you can breathe when you're in prison.
And no bologna sandwiches every single day.
Hey, in jail they give you a sandwich called mystery meat,
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
first of all,
That green
Eyeball
slab.
meat.
eyeball meat.
Dave,
Never
how
eat
long
it.
were you there?
I was in there for 3 months.
Was
Well,
that your longest stint?
The longest sentence I had was probably about 6.5 months.
Okay.
Other than that,
Was that on 85%?
that was on 85%.
85.
And that was like 10 times.
You jail lingo talking ass people.
I know, right? I'm like, what?
Y'all need to explain what the hell.
Tony,
y'all
what's
talking-
85%?
85% is like day for day. You know
Right,
what I'm
that's
saying?
more-
You
that's
did
more-
good
If
time.
If you do a
Yeah.
year, you're only doing 85% of your
85%
time.
of
And that's
time.
honestly that's more of a federal mandate now than
No.
it is
No,
a
it's state.
It's
That's
Now
state.
state level now
That's
too?
That's
state.
state.
That's
Damn,
state.
'cause
Federal is a lot better.
Although
85%.
No, federal is actually worse.
worse, right?
No, federal,
It
you're doing
depends.
all of it.
yeah,
Right.
feds are doing all of it,
Yeah.
but
Everything.
so sentencing in the state of
Damn.
Virginia actually 2 years ago.
the Commonwealth.
Commonwealth.
There's a huge difference with that.
Indeed, there is. But sentencing guidelines for the Commonwealth of Virginia just changed in, I believe it was 2021, just 2 years ago. So it used to be that felons had to do 85% of their time, which
Right.
again means if you get 12 months, you do 10, that's 10 and a half months time,
Right.
right? 85%. If you have a misdemeanor, you do 50% of your time. Now that the laws have changed, now all felonies are 50%.
Right.
And I think that misdemeanors are, there's a different percentage for
Right,
misdemeanors,
right,
but
right.
it's not as much as what it used
Is it
to
based
be.
on charges though? Because I mean, like,
I was going to say the
So
same
here's
thing.
the thing with, I know Tony's gonna. I actually want him to speak on this because I'm interested in his sentencing guidelines. There is something called sentencing guidelines.
Yes.
Everybody
Yes,
goes
yes,
whenever
yes.
you get
The
charged with
the
something.
pre-sentence person.
Yeah.
Whenever
pre-sentencing
you
report.
get charged with something and you go to have your your case adjudicated, the probation officer meets with you ahead of time and they go through your entire life history, your family history, your criminal history. They go through everything. And you are assigned, it's like a point system,
Isn't that
right?
interesting? You said family history.
It does.
they go
It
through
goes through your.
everything.
They go through everything, and because they take that into consideration, they take into consideration the type of life that you lived. You know, if your parents were into criminal activity, things like that. But based on the point system is where your sentence comes into play. Now, does the judge have to abide by the sentencing guidelines?
No.
Fuck no. But it's used as a tool, right? So you and I could commit, Tanya, you and I could commit the same crimes, but because I've already been in the system, because I've already got points accumulated with my name and my number, and you don't,
Pat,
we are
you
going
better
to
sleep with one eye
receive
open.
two different.
You might get shanked, bro. You might get shanked.
We are going to receive two different sentences because your
Criminal.
points are going to be much less than my points are.
Gotcha.
Right.
so-
What was your? So when you had to go to DOC, was that like your first set of charges? You said
Department
that
of
you had.
Corrections.
yeah, please speak English. To us.
I'll
Yeah,
give you the
had,
acronyms.
I had one prior felony on my record, and that was a gang charge, and that definitely made my points go up.
Yeah.
So were you in the gang before jail or?
I was affiliated.
There's that.
I was
Oh
affiliated.
my God, I hate that
And
word.
then
Affiliated.
once I had stepped foot on DOC grounds, that's when shit got real.
You know you can be affiliated with being in a gang
A
by
tattoo.
living down the street from a.
Yeah,
from
that's
a-
terrible.
I was gonna
though.
say,
You're
what-
affiliated,
That's how the
so you can be
Commonwealth does it,
affiliated
too.
with a gang member by living down the street by somebody who is affiliated with a gang
Or just
member.
by hanging out with them, right? Getting caught, just hanging out with them. That's
Yes.
being affiliated.
You could be in the
That's how
same.
the Commonwealth.
We in
sees it.
the same Walmart. One dude from a gang who's affiliated with a gang did something over here, but we know each other now. I'm affiliated. Now I'm a gang person.
I
because
mean, but
we're-
what if they're your relative? You can't help that. You can't.
There
like,
you go.
I mean, you can't help that your dads are
That's
brothers.
just the way the
that
Commonwealth.
hang with
Commonwealth
them, then.
uses a lot of
Yeah.
different terms.
the Commonwealth is
uses
very
a-
much birds of a feather.
They use a
and
lot of
and
different
they
terms.
flock
And it sounds
together.
like they're using the
Believe that.
terms loosely,
Right.
So
with no
quick-
boundaries.
So quick question. So when you went to jail and everything, so they had you affiliated with a gang when you went in?
Yeah, as soon as you step foot on DLC grounds and you talk to like a counselor or something like that, and they straight up ask you like, "Are you affiliated with anything?" They look at all your tattoos and whatnot, and so they don't put you in the wrong spot where you might get hurt or killed
Yes,
or whatnot.
they will separate you.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. So they put me in a certain spot, I guess, where I needed to be at, and be honest with you, that's when shit got real for me. Like, you know, I had to become a man real quick. You know, real quick.
People were checking you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was a lot smaller than I am now. You know, I was just, you know, little light skinned, you know, up on the third tier. Like, nobody know who I was, and
Did being biracial play into that at all? Like, make it harder?
Yes, actually, it
Really?
did. I'm glad you brought that up. Because I look so Hispanic.
You do.
And, you know, I'm just black and white. And, like, the first group of people who came to me were the Hispanics. It's
They
kind of
they approach you to
they
to
approached
recruit you.
me. Yeah, and it's kind of like a funny story. Like, once they found out that, you know, I wasn't really Spanish, and you know, I didn't even speak Spanish. Like, yeah, the second day they found out, they was like, "Oh no, like, we're not rocking with you no more."
You on your own, my brother.
You know what I'm saying? So I was
We
like,
ain't backing you
all
up.
right, you know. Whatever.
So how did that work? How did you fit in? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where did you go?
It honestly, it happens. Like, all it takes is for somebody to know you from somewhere. Like, and somebody said, I was in a chow hall one time, and somebody had called me by my nickname, and I'm looking around, I didn't see anybody, and then I seen him stood up, and it was a guy from my neighborhood. And so that's all it takes is one person, you know, oh, he's with such and such, such and such, and then all of a sudden, now I'm sitting around a group of people. I'm, you know, starting to get affiliated with these group of people, and you know.
The problem is their beefs, their problems, and now your problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So how long did it take for you to get acclimated? You know what I mean? Like, to get your routine down and everything.
Oh man, like I said, I bounced around a lot, so it kind of was difficult a little bit. But once you get a routine down, it really helps. Like, you know, to go through your day by day, you know, things and whatnot. Like, just going to chow, working out, playing cards, you know, whatever. You know, a routine is definitely helpful.
Getting a job.
Getting a job. Definitely.
Would you think that the bouncing around helped you or hurt you in the effect that nobody really got a shot to know you to try to test you as well as they could have tested you, or do you think that it would hurt you?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I think it hurt me in kind of somewhat because, like, you know, I got tired of just trying to find a new routine and trying to figure everybody out. Because once you get to a certain spot, you know, you got to just feel everybody out first. You know,
Right.
you got to see who's this person, see who's that person, and so on and so forth.
So why don't we talk about the politics in jail, in prison, right?
Okay, like as far as civilian politics or gang politics?
Gang politics.
Gang politics. Okay.
Yeah, like your day to day, like
Well, the politics, how-
negotiating your
Okay.
life. Oh, and then I have a follow up question too.
Or how about this, guys? Instead of the politics of it, how about how the system utilizes the internal conflicts to mete out punishment or mete out what happens to you? I think
Hold
We
on,
just
before-
hit him with
be-
like 5 questions, man.
Here, hold on,
that's what
before,
I was trying to define it. Yeah.
before you get there, so you know, I printed out a rack of stats and stuff. So there was because we were talking about how the Commonwealth uses the you know, the prosecutors and, you know, all the jail systems.
They're all
You know,
buddies.
exactly. So Stephanie has
Bingo.
I think that I printed off. I think it was a Department of Correction, I believe, that this thing came from.
This is the Equal Justice Initiative. So there's a study from a gentleman named Carlos Verdejo of Loyola Law School, which finds significant racial disparities in plea deals that suggest that prosecutors may be using race as a proxy for criminality. Recent studies on racial disparities in the criminal justice system have focused on arrest, initial charging, and sentencing, and they are generally find that African Americans are more likely to be arrested and charged than they receive harsher sentences than white people. Fewer researchers have examined the plea bargaining process, even though the overwhelming majority of criminal cases in the United States are resolved through plea deals. Now, I want to say something about this. And because again, back to the white privilege thing, I literally watched this play out in front of me in court one day. I was going to court to be sentenced on one of my probation violations, and there was a girl who was going to court with me that day. She and I had identical charges. We were both on our second violation. Neither one of us had incurred new charges with our violation. We were just fucking up with the probation officer. And she was black, I'm white. And we get same judge, literally same judge, same set of circumstances, same sentencing, all of that. She got 2 years of her. So it's called so you're giving your time back, right? When you're on probation, they sentence you and then they suspend the majority of your sentence and put you on probation in lieu of your sentence. Yeah. So she got 2 years of her time back on that sentence. I went home that day.
Hey,
wow!
I went home that day.
It's funny you say that. Not on any level what you talking about. It's not even race ethnicity. Also talking about dealing with me and Haram talking about dealing with the having a lawyer or not, because this is how they operate. Is somebody paying? Is somebody somebody on our side of it getting paid? Right. My little stint with Fairfax, 10 days, whatever it was. I don't know if y'all recall this. Probably about 20 years ago. Whatever it was. There was a guy got drunk down here in D.C. somewhere one night. Driving home in his truck, hit somebody, didn't even know, thought he hit a deer. He's all drunk, gets home, comes out the next morning, realizes, damn, I got a dead person in the grill of my truck. Y'all remember this?
Yeah,
Y'all remember this story?
Remember.
Okay. So, speaking of not paying to appear, I had a couple little speeding tickets, whatever. I'll pay it later whenever I feel like it. Next thing you know, I get a knock, Grandpa's door. They came to get me about these speeding tickets. I'm thinking, the hell is a speeding ticket? This ain't got no criminal event. They snatched me up, took me to jail, right? The next morning, they called us out. There's like 13 of us, right, sitting there. Lo and behold, we didn't know it, but the guy who had the dead person in the grill of his truck, that's kind of a open and shut case, right? Dead person, grill of the truck.
Yeah.
He's still testing his blood alcohol level, still double the legal limit when they put him in the next morning, right? 13 of us there. 12 of us got jail that day for, like I said, mine was not payment of speeding tickets. He was the only person to walk out of the day because he had a lawyer. Now, of course, he had to come back in.
Side note to having a lawyer versus not having a lawyer. If you are fortunate enough to be able to afford attorney, 9 times out of 10, you're going to do okay in court. Hands down,
fine.
if you have a paid lawyer, everybody, when you are incarcerated, I don't care if it's
Why
county.
you think that is?
I don't care. I'm going to tell you. I don't care if it's county. I don't care if it's state. Everybody that you're incarcerated with is a jailhouse lawyer. Everybody's got their experience.
Right.
They've seen things. They've heard things from other people. They're cellies, people like that.
Cellmates, Pat. Cellmates.
Cellies equals cellmate. So
I'm the square. Don't worry about it.
So if you have a paid attorney, you're going to do great in court. You might get a little bit of time, but it's not going to be the time that you would have gotten if you have a public defender. Public defenders in the Commonwealth of Virginia only get paid based on your conviction. This is where your court costs come into play. So anytime you're convicted or take a plea bargain, that restitution, that is to pay your Commonwealth attorney, because guess what? If you're found not guilty, there is no court fines assessed. There is no restitution assessed, which means they are not getting paid.
I don't know. I have a friend that's actually a lawyer, and he's a court reporting lawyer. He says he goes up to Arlington County every morning and gets cases, and every felony he gets $1,000 no matter what, and every misdemeanor he gets $500, whether win or lose. That's what he was telling me.
Here's the deal, though. You asked a great question. Why is that? How does it?
Maybe the laws changed though, because
maybe
there's
it's
been
by
so
county.
much
How are they
County.
getting paid? When you hear lawyers sit around and talk, where did you go to school at? Well, I went to Harvard. I went to Yale. No, those are more white collar lawyers. These guys, all the lawyers and the judges go to what? They all go to the same law schools. These people know each other. I wasn't making a joke about this whole
in the same golf course.
Bam. It's not a joke when we talk about these things, talking about the golf courses and the lunches and the dinners and all that. These people know each other.
Haram, where do you think that money comes? Like, so if he gets $1,000 for a felony, $500 for a misdemeanor, where do you think that money comes from?
I guess the person before.
Exactly.
The person before.
Right. Yeah. It's an ongoing rolling account.
Well, there is some benefits, I think, to getting a court appointed. Usually when you get in trouble, right, you're going to get hit with 5 charges no matter what, right? 5 charges. And then when and any lawyer could probably plea it down to just 1 charge. That's what they do. They want to get you in the system.
Right. I mean, it depends on if it's a felony. It depends on if it's like major felonies or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like say if you were arguing with some girl, right? That you're holding her back because you're trying to calm her down. They can hit you with a hostage charge,
right, there you go.
right? And then by grabbing her arm, you can get an assault charge, and all these charges accumulate in time, and then next thing you know, you're sitting in jail with 5 felonies, right? And then you can't afford a lawyer, and your court appointed is going to say, you know what? We're going to drop all these charges and just you stick with one charge.
So I got a question, Dave. Do you think how has your run-ins with the law? How has it changed? Just your everyday, how you go about things.
Well, as of now, back then I ain't had no driver license, so
Right.
I was looking over my shoulder every day.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to get away, trying to get out their way, trying to stay out their way. Now that I have a driver license, job, I don't worry about them.
Yeah.
They don't. I have no fear of the police.
Yeah, but back then, because
then,
they had something on you.
They had something on me.
Yeah.
Back
I think
then
it's
they had
young-
something on me.
I
Now
think-
I don't think about them. Period.
At all? That's good though. That's good.
Nothing they can do.
That's
to me.
and that's great.
That's healing.
I know
It is.
The
It's
days,
very healing.
The days that I have, the days that I go out. Now I drive for a living, a commercial vehicle, and the days that I go out, and I feel like I don't have to keep my eyes on the rearview and side view mirrors, are a lot less than what they were. But don't get it twisted; they're still there. I don't want to call it PTSD, but that definitely is something that affects me. And we've talked about it before in different shows, but